You've launched many apps. I've launched many apps. We've experienced this launch day, right?
Mhm.
And I think when you have never done it before, you have a lot riding on this one day. You're like, this is the day I'm going to become a billionaire. Like everything is going to go right.
Mhm.
That girl I always wanted, she's going to text me back, right? Everything is going to work today,
Mhm.
right? But what's reality?
Yeah, yeah. On launch day, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, yeah. The big fat zero. Unless like you've planned this kind of like big thing for the launch day, which I also don't think you should. And then like this is another thing. Some people be doing these kind of wait list. Like, oh, before you launch, oh, let me put people on a wait list. Nobody is joining your app from a wait list from 2 months ago, bro.
But I made apps before I met you.
Mhm.
I tried to distribute them, I tried to grow them, and I did fine. But there's like some fucking secret sauce that you have or something. I don't know what it is. You launch an app and that shit blows up like within a week or two. Is there like a secret to the App Store of like the are you like best friends with Tim Cook or something? Like is he deciding to fucking feature your apps? Like what the hell's going on?
Well, there's no actual secret sauce like at all. I think it's just being able to know what the app store kind of like cares about, generally itself. And I think some people over optimize on certain things that don't move the needle while other things do. One of them is comes to me is just like the name of your app. I've seen some people like try to come up with some like, oh, they want a really unique name, so it's just hella funky to like spell it. And it's like, okay, if people literally cannot spell or they find it hard to spell the name of your app or the name of your app is too long, it's not catchy, they're just not gonna search it, right? But then some people are gonna be like, oh, but Lots, how did you do praise? It's literally called praise screen, right? So it's like, it's just very clear. And it was actually, it wasn't even called praise screen. It was called, let's actually bring up let me bring up the
Bring the
actual,
receipts.
literally, it was called Praise Screen Time, Bible Focus. It doesn't even make English sense, right? But the reason we went with that is because screen time was the key word that people use for focus apps, like Opal. And then Pray, of course, made it like a Christian app. And then Bible also made it obviously a Christian app. And then focus was the second term that people use when they're trying to find screen time apps or focus apps, right? So it was just like, it was just very simple. There wasn't anything like crazy about it. So I think some people kind of like over engineer a lot of these things.
So, am I understanding then that like the App Store is primarily search driven?
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not recommendation. I mean, they have recommendation side to it, but most people don't go into the App Store thinking, oh, you know what, App Store, give me some apps that you think I would like, right? It's normally when you go to the App Store, you're going there to find something specifically. Like people would like the App Store doesn't have any more utility than downloading an app. So therefore, people don't go exploring per se. It's different, for example, like from social media sites. Like you go on social media sites not to watch ads, but it's just to kind of see what's kind of going on right now in your social sphere. And then you then get to see an ad, and then maybe you will convert. But most of the time, if you open the app store and you'll search for something, you're gonna download something, right? Because it's very, very intent heavy.
So when you're listing an app, are there like some primary like signals or signs that Apple looks for?
Yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah, for
what
sure.
are they?
Yeah, so I would say like first of all, let's start from the top. Your title. Just make sure it's clear. I think they are only allowed 30 characters. I always say it's good to have some kind of a unique-ish name, but like just short, just memorable. And also just stuff the title with as many keywords as possible that have volume, that people actually search for itself. There's many things you can use to be able to see what kind of volume or what kind of keywords have volume. They call it ASO, App Store Optimization, kind of like SEO. I'm actually exactly like SEO, but it's for the App Store. Then number two is that your subtitle. I always like to put my competitors in there, like especially if they have a good brand name that people use. So I always kind of like stuff that in there. Then there's also something called keywords, which you don't see in the App Store, but it's something that happens at the back end, basically. Again, just kind of like keywords that people would probably search. what you don't want to do is repeat words. So if you say pray screen, or let's say pray in a title, you don't want to say pray again in the subtitle and then pray in the keywords. You're just wasting words. It doesn't give you any extra points. I don't think it demotes you in any way, but it doesn't give you any extra points. So therefore it's like a negative thing because you're now wasting a word that you could have used for something else at the end of the day. So but if you have pray, you could have praying or prayers in the subtitle for sure. So I think that's something you always have to kind of like juggle. It's like your title, subtitle, and keywords. But your title is definitely the one that gives you the most, I guess, optimization or visibility in the search engine.
So, was there any like super big success story that you saw where it was like an app had terrible ASO, like was just doing it completely wrong, and then someone workshopped it, maybe you workshopped it, I don't know, came in and like it made a dramatic difference in the position of the search in the app store and everything?
I wouldn't say that someone was doing ASO badly. It was just more so I look for people that are already doing well. And I'm just like, how can I put my own little spin on that? And that's really kind of like it. Cause like if unfortunately I'm not innovative enough for me to be like, okay, cool, this person is doing it badly. I know exactly what to do that's gonna make this so much better itself. I think especially at that time, as of right now, I can definitely look at an app and be like, okay, cool, your onboarding is not currently working out properly, or like you haven't titled this properly. Here's the things you can update to get it to benchmark levels. But I'm not kind of innovative to be like, oh, this is this new way that no one else has ever tried, and I'm 100% certain this is gonna work.
Has there ever been an app that you looked at, like maybe you saw UGC content for it, or you just naturally downloaded it, where you were like, shit, this is a really good app, but it has no legs. Like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually so in the UK. Actually, I've seen two. The first one was a driving lesson app, and it only made like 2K a month or something, just something very very small. And I was just thinking to myself, like, but I was thinking, there's millions of people in the UK every year at this stage driving lesson. I'm just like, why hasn't someone gamified this thing, put some ads on it, yearly subscriptions, weekly subscriptions? It's just like, it's a thing that everyone has to do. And it's like, it's not something that has to be government app. It's also, I'm just like, this just seems like such a no brainer. And also the app had like millions of downloads. So you already had the ASO juiced up already. Cause when you type driver lessons, it's the one that comes up, but it hadn't been updated in years. And I was just like, if someone could just buy it from this person and just optimize it to get money, essentially, because people are only like, no one wants to download the app. Everyone just doing it. So, okay, cool. Or like, let me just make sure I know the knowledge, whatever, so I can pass my test itself. So it's kind of like a need rather than a want. And I think, yo, if you can, make a couple dollars from each person, then that could be something quite sweet.
So lots workshop 101. What are like the top three things you would fix in that driving app?
The onboarding process, for sure. When people download a driving lesson app, they're not feeling good. They're not feeling. There's always kind of like, okay, cool. Let me do this damn thing, and hopefully I get 80% plus or whatever the pass mark is. So I think make the onboarding process to be like, okay, like make the user know that they have a problem, which they already do, but just let them know. Let them know how you're going to help them solve. Show them some kind of stats to be able to show, hey, people that use this app, there's a X amount likelihood of them actually passing itself. Show some smiley faces of people with some cars, essentially, blah, blah. Then start quizzing them. Like, okay, what part of the driving test or the theory do they find most difficult that they would like to kind of like focus on that side? So people kind of like feel like, oh, okay, cool. This is actually kind of like for me. And then hit them with a paywall. And that's essentially it. That's what I'll do. I think for that, there's that. And I think there's also the second app I was talking about, which is not really a specific app, is just fitness apps. I think this may be a meta, to be honest, but like most guys, if they're doing fitness, there tends to be a reason for it. Like it's not all, I mean, maybe some people obviously fitness for fitness, but some people like young, they want to be a basketballer. They want to play in the NFL. And it's just very strange to me. I've never seen any fitness app, like a gym training app that's been like specifically for like, if you want to get in the NBA, this app is solely just for that niche. I mean, there's just so much money in grassroots efforts for people who want to do this in real life itself. I'm just like, there's just so much money that could probably be made if you make an app that's just like that. And I can just imagine the onboarding process. It's kind of like, let's say it's an NFL, for example. I don't know why I chose that one. I hardly know. I think I know Tyreek Hill. I think that's the only person that I've heard of. Odell Beckham. I know him as well. So it's kind of like, I can imagine you coming into the thing and it's like, what position do you want to play? You pick it. And it's kind of like, then it shows you like the top 5 greatest of all time, playing style or whatever it is of that person, or who do you want to have the body more like itself. And people always have those kind of references to be like, actually, yeah, I'd actually like to be more like blah, blah. And then you just take them through that kind of onboarding to make sure like this perfect plan to be like, oh, this is how you can get as fit as LeBron James, for example, for the NBA or whatever it is today. And I haven't seen a fitness app that's specifically for that, which is just very interesting. Like I've seen apps that are for like training hoops, like actually like, but I've never seen like fitness for a specific sport, which is kind of like interesting.
So let's continue with this like thought experiment, I think. So let's say you were building this app today, okay? You were building this one for the NFL, like footballer, in the American sense, not the British. Apology. When you're thinking about the app store itself, so not the app and like onboarding, but like the screenshots, the text. What is like? What's the title that you're gonna give it?
Yeah.
Or what's the thought process behind coming up with the title, the
Yeah.
keywords? What's all that?
Yeah, I'd probably you probably can't I probably can't put NFL in the title, just because of the trademark, but I'll put in the subtitle, itself. But in the title, I'll probably put like, again, if it's in the US, I'll just call it like football training, or like I don't know, football training pro or something like that. Just I'll definitely have to research. Okay, cool. What are the when people type in the NFL, what are the other words that are around that word that people also type in that has volume, and I'll just stuff that into the main thing, the main title. Then keywords, I'll just put all the words that I couldn't put. So I'll put like NFL, etc., etc. I'll put that all in there. I'll probably even put some names if there's like a specific person that people tend to type in that has good volume. I'll put that in the subtitle as well. In terms of the screenshots, you kind of want to, because in the app store, when you're on the apps, you only see the first 3 screenshots immediately before you have to click in. So you want to communicate 3 things. You want to communicate exactly what this app does. And especially for something to do with fitness, you kind of want to communicate it before and after. This is what people were doing before, and this is how they would look after. I'll probably communicate like, I don't know, like a fat slop of a person, of a guy, and obviously like an animated thing. And then in like the one screenshot is like split into 2. And then it's like on the left, he's just like on a couch, just like doing whatever. And on the right, it's visibly the same person, but he's fit, maybe catching a ball or something, or doing like a touchdown or whatever it is through there. And what I'd actually do, I'd probably have on the back of his shirt would be the name of the app itself. And that's probably what I'll probably do as the second screenshot. And then the third screenshot would be just more like what are the benefits, and just like loads of ticks. And actually probably instead of ticks, I have the actual football in there. So that's kind of like something I'll do.
I like that. It's crazy seeing your mind work, because it's like I just gave you that and you're already cooking up these like 3 screenshots. It's crazy. So let's say like you launch that app. You've launched many apps. I've launched many apps. We've experienced this launch day, right? And I think when you have never done it before, you have a lot riding on this one day. You're like, this is the day I'm going to become a billionaire. Like everything is going to go right. That girl I always wanted, she's going to text me back, right? Everything is going to work today, right? But what's reality?
Yeah. On launch day, nothing's going to happen. Yeah. The big fat 0. Unless like you've planned this kind of like big thing for the launch day, which I also don't think you should. And then like, this is another thing. Some people be doing these kind of waitlist, like, oh, before you launch, oh, let me put people on a wait list. Nobody is joining your app from a wait list from 2 months ago, bro. Like no one, like if anyone, like this is the math I just tell people. If 100 people join your wait list by day 2 of them being on that wait list, the amount of people that are going to convert drops to 5% of them. That's where it even begins, really and truly. At the end of the day, and then it just like declines from there. So like, unless you're trying to tell me you have 10 million people, there's just like no point of a wait list. I just think just get something out there. Don't bother about a launch. Just get it out there and just kind of try and get users. That's really at the end of the day, and then just see how they interact with your product. I think waitlists are a complete waste of time when it comes to mobile apps.
And if you are trying to figure out how to distribute your app and how to get it out there in front of people, I have good news for you. We've actually spoken a lot about this many, many times, other videos, and you should probably check them out because the same like mind kind of map that Latana just put out there for all of like his app store feedback and like just suggestions and tips, he did the exact same thing for UGC. So you should probably subscribe. You should probably leave a comment, like this video, etc. All the shameless promotions and plugging and all that. But you should definitely keep watching because like this information just keeps coming, and I'll keep poking him until stuff comes out. So
You're fucking pinata.